The Trump administration's Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says the US maintains a strong currency policy. But that doesn't mean other currencies must have weak ones. While US deglobalization could eventually bring fairer exchange rates, immediate change seems unlikely. However, Pakistan's policy of stabilizing its currency finds some validation in Bessent's remarks, especially given the ongoing tariff uncertainty. A New York Times report highlights this instability, noting that tariffs have been announced, cancelled, delayed, and enacted, sometimes within hours. This reflects a lack of preparedness with the US administration in implementing a major campaign promise in an increasingly complex multipolar world. Meanwhile, global growth forecasts suggest lower expansion in North America by 2025, with Asia, Europe, the Middle East, and Africa expected to drive economic momentum. At the UN Security Council, Pakistan's Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar called for global governance reforms, emphasizing the need for a more democratic, inclusive, and accountable system. He argued that the current order has failed to resolve economic inequalities and conflicts. China shares this perspective, advocating for depolarization and structural reforms to ensure developing nations have a stronger voice. Pakistan's foreign debt inflows have dropped by 38%, while foreign direct investment has surged by 56% compared to last year. Despite this, FDI remains volatile, and analysts warn that capital investment often loses its connection to social progress when it moves across borders. Though business confidence is improving, Pakistan still faces low productivity in key sectors and weak employment growth. The current account deficit widened to $420 million in January 2025, despite a 16% jump in textile exports. To address these challenges, the World Bank has pledged $40 billion in a long-term financing plan split between private sector and investment and development projects. Analysts stress that while such funding is crucial, sustainable progress requires deep social sector reforms, not just infrastructure spending. Ultimately, Pakistan stands at a crossroads. With Western financial globalization faltering and the US shifting towards protectionism, the country must decide: implement tough but necessary reforms, or continue relying on unsustainable borrowing, risking long-term stagnation.